Anyway, welcome back to episode of Ministry Truth. I am your only host on this show, and that's probably for good reasons because, most other people would probably not say some of the shit I'm saying, or they'll say it, but they'll mask it because nothing is ever what it seems, right? Right? We're going to go over a lot of stuff today, stuff that I found last night, stuff that I found this morning, and we're going to go into some more of it. And how it may tie in or it may not tie into everything we're going to talk about today, except for one video. The one video that's not tying in will be the very last video. But before we get started, because hey, what's up, Haystack? Before we get started, what's this? Oh, before we get started, everybody, get yourself a drink, get yourself something to eat. I don't do product placements this early in the morning, but if you decide to happen to get an energy drink, Reign energy drink, Rainbow Sherbet, fire. Appreciate you, Haystack. Good to see you as always. But before we get started, get you something to drink, something to eat, get you something to smoke. It's about smoke time 30 for me. But let's get to a song. Let's get everybody either in the mood or like, this asshole's playing this fucking song again. Either way, you're going to listen to it.
Ships on vigor of the waves of skimming barren summits to the verdant place. Each horizon is a new beginning, rise and reign. Far from the fjords and the ice-cold currents, brave and soar over new frontiers. Songs and sagas of a painted German shields and spears. Vows of favor or the thrill of plunder, pulled together for the clan and kin. Clank of hammers and the crash of thunder, pound within.
And that was good.
The echoes of eternity. Valhalla calling me. To pluck the strings of destiny. Valhalla calling me. Valhalla calling me.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, now that song is out of the way, and a little bit of blood pumping into our veins. Nothing bad with blood pumping through your veins. It's when it stops. That's when you should probably worry. But if it stops, then you may not be there. Hello, Zippity. We're going to take a history lesson back into the 90s. I watched this show quite frequently when I was a kid. And I'm pretty sure a good majority of us did too. But let's learn basic geography. The shit that they don't teach kids in cartoons these days? Are you ready? I said, are you ready? I know you are.
Totally insane, Pinky and the Brainy. Yes, those are the facts.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Yakko Water.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman. Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain.
Yo, I do too. I don't know how this fucking showed up on my Time For You page or whatever the fuck it is on YouTube. But you know me. I was like, I love this shit. Because you know what? It's just like taking over the world. Huh?
India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana.
Funny story. Every time I hear them say Djibouti, I was in Djibouti for 9 months in 2013.
Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Liberia, Egypt, Benin and Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya and Mali, Sierra Leone and Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Majorca and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.
Who remembers world geography? We all just got a refresher. Were those 109 countries? No, because they said Israel. They said Israel. I don't know why I saved it.
Got Ethiopia.
Got cut.
Let's take you out live. Our Sarah Williamson is in Tucson, has been tracking new information. And Sarah, obviously a subject of the investigation.
So this thing is getting more and more and more interesting. I think it's really Clyde tied to the Clintons, and who knows? Who knows? Because they are about to testify, and Bill is like, I'm going to tell everything, on Trump and this guy and this guy and this guy. I'm like, so you're about to die. We know this because you're decrepit and fuck looking. But, shit, Zippity. My ADD kicked in and I forgot what I was going to say. God damn it. Yeah, if he had all that information, why did it take so long to sing? He could have helped Hillary win. Right? In theory. Bill.
Investigation here. Hopefully this could be a major break today in day 10.
Yeah, Bianca, after 10 days, and this is the most significant break in the investigation that we have seen thus far. We have been hearing, even up until a few hours ago, from law enforcement that they still had no suspect, no persons of interest, and no sign of life. But now we have these images that you can see on your screen there that have been released. We know up until now the big problem in this case was the fact that there was no subscription being.
Now I know why another reason I wanted to play this. If she just said it, I'm going to rewind it. But if she didn't, then I'm going to tell you.
Paid for. The big problem in this case was the fact that there was no subscription being paid for on those doorbell cameras and the CCTV surrounding Nancy Guthrie.
So you mean to tell me that their surveillance cameras, even if there's no active subscription, hold on, I need to find the one with the dogs. How are they able, FBI mainly, how's the FBI able to just get those videos if there's no active subscription? So that means they're actively watching everything we do. I guess they don't need a warrant. Kind of strange, isn't it?
Guthrie's home, but working with the company, the law enforcement have been able to retrieve these images, which offer a significant breakthrough in this case. Chris Nanos, the sheriff from Pima Counties, has now released a statement saying that over the last 8 days, the FBI and the Sheriff's Department have been working closely with the private sector partners to continue to recover any images or video footage of Nancy Guthrie's home.
Well, I know it's stored to a cloud. But if it's stored to a cloud and I don't have any active subscriptions, they should still not be able to monitor that. It's illegal. It's the Fourth Amendment.
been lost, corrupted or inaccessible due to a variety of factors, including the removal of recording devices. The video was recovered from residual data located in back-end systems. Working with the partners, as of this morning, law enforcement has uncovered these previously inaccessible new images showing an armed individual appearing to have tampered with the camera at Nancy Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. And you can see in those images that this individual is heavily disguised, wearing gloves, a balaclava, and does seem to have a number of tools and possibly weapons on him, wearing a backpack, which does really make it difficult for them to be able to discover who this person actually is. But this is the biggest development that we have had so far.
Yeah, it's very clear. I'm pretty sure I can tell you who this guy is. With the gloves on, the mask on, all that stuff. Pretty sure I could figure it out.
Far. And this comes just after we received information that members of Nancy Guthrie's staff that worked at her house, the pool cleaner and the landscaper, had submitted DNA evidence. We know that this, a week after the investigation, we saw the FBI, I was here at the time, return to the house and retrieve a secondary camera that had been left behind at the beginning of the investigation off the roof of the house. Whether or not this camera is what led us to find these photos is yet to be seen, but this is a significant development, and we're hoping to hear more from the sheriff department at Pima County and the FBI throughout the day. And hopefully this is the major breakthrough that we have needed in order to track down Nancy Guthrie and return her safe to her family, Bianca.
Sarah Williamson, thank you.
Yo, that sucks. I had another video talking about this camera, but I can't find it.
Please, Lord.
And it shows that they've been able to find lost dogs by using these same camera systems. Which, again, that is not a good thing. And why can't I find that fucking video? I watched it this morning. That's crazy. I know her. Anyway, let's get on to... Fuck, man, why can't I find that video? That kind of makes me mad because it really was like, wait a fucking second. What? Of course I didn't. Fucking stupid.
Allow these fucking morons to stop giving all of our money to stupid LGBTQ plus programs and pushing the transgender agenda on our students.
This guy knows what he's doing to us. Are you trespassing me? He wants the verbiage to be clear so that he's not in an actual violation. He knows where that line is. He's dancing on it, and I am here for it. All right, look, I want to set this next one up for you. And I want you to go show this man some support. This is, it's been making the rounds, but it's not as viral as it should be. This is a man who has been making the county school board in, I believe, Frederick, Maryland, absolute hell. And now I will tell you this. I don't like it when you're in a church and the prayer itself is a message. I mean, like, a prayer should be genuine. You teach the message and then you collectively, you say a prayer individually. I don't like when they go, and Lord, please help people to tithe more. It bothers me. Yeah. That being said, this next instance with this man, then we have a highlight reel. He's been a thorn in their sides for a while, and I want you to know who he is. This man does the prayer lesson about as well as I think you can pull it off. I'm now a fan.
I really don't have much to say about the budget. I actually have a legislative prayer, so I'm going to form my statement in the form of a prayer. Dear Lord, please give this board full of morons the wisdom to spend less money on denying veterans access to public meetings and citizens access to public meetings, and spend more money on disabled children and children that need it. Please, Lord, allow these fucking morons to stop giving all of our money to stupid LGBTQ plus programs and pushing the transgender agenda on our students.
Gets better.
Please, Lord, give these fucking idiots a clue.
Mr. Porter.
I'm sorry, are you interrupting my prayer, sir?
Stop.
For what?
You've
For
been
what?
asked before about the decorum of this.
I'm sorry, my prayer is not subject to your approval, Mr. Rose.
I'm just warning you.
It's a legislative prayer. It's protected by the First Amendment.
You may continue, but you're
I'm
being
going to
warned.
continue with my prayer,
may
sir.
continue.
Watch.
May God have mercy on Dean Rose's soul. He obviously doesn't have one. Lord, please protect our children from these monsters who are trying to convert all
man
of
is
them
fed
into
up.
being
Watch this.
transgender. Dear Lord, please protect our students from mass shooters who all tend to be transgender. And dear Lord, please allow these worthless motherfuckers to stop.
Yeah, when I was watching this with my daughter yesterday, I was fucking blitzed. I was high. Dude, we were laughing our asses off. She's 20, so it's allowed.
Transgender ideology on children.
Mr. Porter, you're done. Thank you.
I'm sorry, you cutting my speech off?
Yep, you're done.
You stopped
Thank
my
you.
prayer because you didn't approve
Thank
of the
you very
words
much.
in the
You're
prayer?
in violation of our policy.
What policy
Thank
do you have on prayer?
Thank you.
What policy do you have
We
on
do
prayer?
have a policy
What
on
words are
decorum, and you
illegal? You
violated
didn't
it.
provide a list
Thank
of
you, Mr.
words.
Porter.
You
Thank
didn't
you.
provide a list of words that I can't say before the meeting, sir.
Mr.
So you
Yes,
can't
he will list them.
Step away
regulate.
from the podium, please.
No, because it's my turn to speak. It's my time to speak. You didn't tell me
Oh,
what words I couldn't
Carlin.
say. You didn't say fuck, faggot, queer, dyke,
enough.
motherfucker,
That's enough.
worthless piece of shit, cocksucker,
Oh man, Lord Cuck, shout out to you, bro.
It's my turn to speak. It's my time to speak. You didn't tell me what words I couldn't say. You didn't say fuck, faggot, queer, dyke,
enough.
motherfucker,
That's enough.
worthless piece of shit, cocksucker, commie statist pig,
Officer.
worthless fucking whore,
Officer.
sell out to the people, traitor to the Constitution, violator of civil rights.
This is a George Carlin bit?
And average everyday Americans. You are a
Could you have
Republican
him-
pig, sir.
Could you have
I
him-
hope you lose your
Excuse me.
election. I didn't finish my speech. Oh, I appreciate it. I didn't finish. I was in the middle of a prayer.
You're not required to leave.
You required me to leave?
You are required to
Are
leave.
you threatening to arrest me if I don't leave the podium and don't finish my prayer here?
I'm asking you to leave.
Okay, great. Escort me that way because my shit's over there. Sweet.
He was towering over him.
Now,
Oh man, he's been pushed too far.
I know what you're like. Look, come on, this, and I do the change my mind where I think you need to come in and match intensity. But people will say you don't win anyone over this way. That may be true.
Well,
this
he
man
won
has
us
a
over.
yes. This man
He
has a
won me
history
over.
with this board, and he knows that no matter what he does, they are going to cut him off and boot him anyway. So at this point, he can make it known and he can air his grievances. I get it. This is what he's left with, and I will tell you, just because of the jersey and just because of the foul language, this is not a dumb man. This is a man who knows his way around, and he knows he's asking, are you getting rid of me?
Yeah.
Do I have to go? They're not afraid of him being violent, by
No,
the way.
he's the captain. He's got the C.
Yes, he does. So then we did some research. A guy's name is Sean Porter, and he has a long history of bothering, annoying, trolling, and appearing before the godless school board.
Next on the list is Ray Gallagher, which is
This
me,
is
and I did not
hilarious.
sign up to speak. So we will move on to our
This is the one I
final
did
speaker,
before.
who is Casey Day.
I identify as Ray Gallagher.
Mr. Porter, you are not on our list, and you will not be speaking this
I'm the one.
evening.
Look at the email address on there. It says Sean Porter, USA.com.
You will not be speaking, Mr. Porter.
I
Please,
identify as Ray Gallagher. Are you misgendering me, calling me Sean Porter?
you
I
may
signed up
sit
as Ray
down,
Gallagher,
or
ma'am.
you will.
You're
may
not using my preferred pronouns, are you?
You may sit down, or you may leave.
No, you called my name.
Otherwise, you will be asked to leave and escorted out.
I want to be escorted out because I am on that list and you called the name I identify as, which is Ray Gallagher.
That's incorrect. I'm
You're
going to ask the
misgendering
sheriff
me.
to
We'll come back to the
remove
point
you.
he's
Yourself
making.
to be a
'cause
hypocrite.
it's
It
an
is my
important
turn
one.
to speak.
Decorum is a made-up word that only allows liberals to talk shit.
You will not be speaking. Sir?
No.
Sir. Would you please escort
He
Mr.
gave
Porter
up.
from the boardroom?
Are you
Valiant effort.
trespassing me?
I'm not. I'm asking you to leave.
You're asking me to leave
and
under
the-
threat of arrest because you misgendered me.
The sheriff is going to escort you out.
You will not use my preferred pronouns of Ray Gallagher. I signed up like I'm supposed to. You're violating my civil rights.
I am not. You will leave. Now,
Hold on. I gotta grab my
he signed up as Ray.
He always has to grab his thing. I gotta grab my stuff, man.
I gotta get my stuff, bro.
You are violating my civil rights, and you will answer for it, ma'am. All righty. Good evening.
Yo, this one.
It ain't nothing to mess with.
I'm here to talk about Policy 443 and how you motherfuckers wasted $25,000 on attorney's
That's a policy
fees
that
to go
allows the
after a
school
duly
board to
elected
conceal
member
students' gender identity from their
citing
parents, by the way.
case law.
Whoa.
So the statement was something like this: you have a right, you're free to be you, and we're free to be, we have a right to be free from you. And basically what it means is you can't compel speech. This is not Nazi Germany. You can't make people use they, them pronouns. You can't make me do a motherfucking thing. I dare you to try and make me do anything at all. So anyway, I'm going to artistically express my extreme childish displeasure with basically if you're going to do something
foreshadowing.
childish like
Watch his
Policy
friend.
443 and go after Colt Black, I'm going to do something really stupid and childish too in response.
Look at his friend. He's like, he's doing it.
I can't believe he's doing it.
Oh, he's not actually mooning them, though. He's just bending over, right?
Yeah, look at his friend. He's like, he's doing it.
They're looking at it. Look at it, ladies.
I yield back the balance of my time.
Now, to be clear, is it silly? Sure, he said it's going to be childish and stupid. He is protesting evil. The district policy 443, again, that allows students to conceal their identity from parents. It allows the school to help them conceal their identity from their parents. By the way, that is one step toward a sanctuary trans state like we saw with Minnesota, where kids can actually be...
Funny story. I got email from my kid's school yesterday.
Every year.
And is this it? No. Actually, this is it. I guess they're doing a walkout today. A walkout. And I called my son up and I was like, hey, is there a fucking gay walkout tomorrow? He's like, yes. Oh, are you going to do it? He's like, well, they're going to write everybody up. Are you going to do it? Fuck no. Are you saying no because you know I don't like it? He's like, no. He's like, do you know why they're doing the walkout? Yeah, for like immigration and ICE. I'm like, so do you think illegals should be deported? And he's like, yes. I'm like, you're not saying that because me and your sister are here. He's like, no, I can't stand them. All right. Hey, what's up? Fuck your feelings. And then I look at him like, hey, what does your girlfriend think about the walkout? And he's like, she's not doing that shit either. I'm like, that's really weird. It's really weird. You're going to have a bunch of white kids doing the walkout. Then you have a Filipino and a Mexican that aren't walking out. The brown people. Wait, shouldn't the brown people be on? No. Fucking morons. Anyway, sorry. That happened yesterday morning. Or yesterday afternoon. Oh, shit.
Me being alone and me being with other
But don't you feel bad because
every year 10 million go missing. And
This is it. So I did put it next. This right here makes it even fucking worse when you think about them, oh, we're gonna try and, find people by using their door cams. Oh.
we look for them hasn't changed in years. Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search party.
Yeah, remember when they wanted to change the age to vote to 16? Their brains aren't even fully developed until they're 25 fucking years old. Flea markets. Flea markets. Sometimes you can find some good shit.
No. This is very Fahrenheit 451. If you're not old enough or young enough to read that book, it's basically when they say they're looking for a fugitive, everybody look out their window at the same time to look for this person. Yeah. Smart TV's bad for spying. Yeah. Why is this doing it? And the problem is I even looked at it. It signs you up for it. You don't opt into this. you have to opt out of it manually, and it's really hidden within the app to do it.
Ring uses AI to help
So we all love flea markets. Unity.
families find lost dogs. Since launch, more
Oh,
than
guys, a lost dog! The kid, she's so happy. We found the
Wish I did it
lost
with my
dog.
dog
Oh,
fucking 15 years
warm
ago.
and fuzzy puppy feeling inside. Not the idea. Hey, we really worried about mass surveillance? How about we make you purchase something that's supposed to have it so you can have funny videos if you slip on ice going to your car,
That's what I have.
or you know,
my front yard.
the UPS man dropping off a package for you and seeing if someone stole it. And also now it's for puppies. It's for puppies if you lost your doggy. Isn't this sweet? Not mass surveillance on everybody, whether you like it or not.
Dog a Day has been reunited with their family. Be a hero in your neighborhood with Search Party.
Be a hero. Be a snitch on every little thing that happens. Ring, aka Ring, is Amazon, right?
We'll get
I
to
don't want
snitches in a minute.
misconnect this. Is Ring Amazon? Yeah. Skynet is born from searching from a dog. Exactly. Oh, Fahrenheit 451 also had interactive reality TV walls. I don't think we're gonna have interactive TV
want an
walls. I think we had
interactive
the
TV
Meta
wall.
glasses. I tried that stuff. Very, very creepy. I was playing NFL football and I was on the field. I was behind the line, the offensive line. I was looking at the audience. It was wild how realistic it was.
Available to everyone for free right now. Join the neighborhood at ring.com.
Yeah, I don't know. I know for a fact.
Ring,
it was
'cause they're owned
hard
by
for me
Google,
to figure out
aren't they?
how people were saying, "Oh, this is how you disable your Ring app. This is how you disable this from spying on you." My parents, I'm almost certain they have the Ring. Actually, I'm pretty certain they are. Even my older brother, who's not that much older than me, I don't think he's technologically savvy enough, and it's no slight on him, but I don't think he's technologically savvy enough to know to disable it. They probably saw the commercial and thought, "Yay, puppies! We have a puppy. We don't want him to be lost. Of course we'll leave this on." Or, "We like this." Not the idea that it's the beginning of the end. Because not only do you have to disable the puppy feature, you also have to disable the wildfire feature. If we know there's fires, then we're going to put on all the cameras out there. Or turn on all the cameras. Yeah, 1984, the telescreens, or like the Batman Dark Knight, where they just turned on all the cell phones and they're able to see everything. Yeah, Bradbury didn't nail the specifics, but he did see the general pattern. I mean, the idea that he knew about seashell, where you can put the seashells in, you can hear whatever you want. It's like, those are airplanes.
Wait. So if he knows you can use seashells to hear stuff with 2 seashells, do you think he knows how to use the 3 seashells? Because I'm still trying to figure that shit out. I guess we're supposed to know how to use 3 seashells. Does anybody else? Does anybody else get the reference? Oh, this is where I got rat.
Being with other people when I'm doing target. Some would say that it's pretty weird that you're alone shooting my book through a heart with a bullet. Was it a 9mm bullet?
No, it wasn't a 9mm bullet.
Was it a rifle bullet?
It was a rifle bullet because I was deer practice.
So you were alone in Michigan shooting my book. There's the exit wound with a rifle bullet. Is that what you're doing?
Where is my Uber?
Yeah,
It's not
I'm
coming.
going to hold this up. I've already fed the Southern District of New York tons of shit. Did you?
And your abuse of the
so
people
you,
around.
so we have Matt Chairman is on tape admitting
The Southern District tons of shit.
Tell me, there's a bullet right through my heart.
The second I saw him get shot, I wished my immediate first reaction was, why couldn't it have been okay?
I have 1,000 sources in the DOJ and CIA I talk to all the time.
Look, this guy, he worked at Project Veritas, and they do stories, but he was a snitch for the FBI. So what was he doing? Was he trying to censor stories? Huh?
I fed the Southern District tons of shit to try and get him in prison.
So could you tell us the truth about who you fed dirt to SDNY? And you're an FBI informant.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've already fed the Southern District tons of shit.
Could you tell us more about how you said you were a confidential informant to the SDNY?
About you?
Who did you feed SDNY information? You went to the FBI, Matt. You're a rat.
Southern District seems to be doing all these federal cases. All federal cases, because apparently they really dislike conservatives or non-left leaning people.
are the most evil motherfucker I've ever met.
But I'm not a rat.
You know who I've talked to about all of your criminal activity? Everybody who would listen. The IRS and other agencies.
So you did go to the FBI?
I have talked to many people who have called me from law enforcement agencies.
When did you feed the Southern District of New York tons of shit,
When
Matthew?
people called me and asked me questions about you, I answered them truthfully and honestly.
So we have Matt Tierman is on tape admitting to be an FBI informant. He's the first time breaking news. This is pretty nuts, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, well, that's my property.
This doesn't look good for you, bro. You shot me in the heart. You say you want to kill me. I
Wait,
mean, a lot of
if it's your property, how does he have it? How does he have it?
people find that pretty concerning. You said when Charlie Kirk died, you wished. No, we're gonna file a restraining order against you. So is that projection? Is that
my property?
No, that's my book.
No, it's not
If
your
you touch me, we have security, and they're gonna
That's my property.
Matt.
3 years ago, on February.
But I want you to think, I think he mentions this. The FBI raided his house and 2 of his journalists. That guy knew it was probably going to happen.
February 6th, I was indefinitely suspended from Project Veritas. We've done a few reports to you about Project Veritas in front of the logo that we have on this wall. But this one might be the biggest report of them all. It's about one of the former board members, a man named Matthew Tiermond. The 6-hour board meeting, recorded on February 6th, defies all explanation. There was the picture of me nailed to the cross, the allegation I stole a pregnant lady's sandwich, the board's contention that me taking black cars instead of an UberX was somehow a fraudulent expenditure, but donors pleaded with me to hire private security, while the board, including Matthew Tiermond, believed that spending money on this personal security was a form of financial misappropriation. Matthew Tiermond
when he
also
brought
said
in
he
most
wanted
of
to,
the
quote,
money.
carve my heart out and eat it.
I said you want to carve out his heart and eat it in front of him.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the quote.
Now, we had reason to believe that some on the board went to the New York District Attorney to try to get me arrested. After the board fired me, the board used the millions of dollars left in the bank to sue me, brought me to the SDNY to get a civil injunction against me to try to stop me
And lost.
from continuing to do any investigative journalism at all. We've previously reported to you, but we did not know how dark and sinister all this could become. A citizen reached out to me after running into Matthew Tiermond on the street.
Yo, this journalist, bro, she played the long game to get this info.
In Miami, and then spoke to him over the course of 4 months. What struck the citizen was that Matthew Tiermond relayed to her that the whole world is a fraud except him.
The whole world is a fraud.
So that means you're a fraud too.
No, the world around us.
Well, why is
can be
everybody
pure.
else a fraud but not you?
Well, check my behavior. Call everybody out, and I'm happy to take ownership of any of my foibles.
This citizen journalist decided to record Tiermond. And in these conversations, Tiermond describes repeatedly how he wants to kill James O'Keefe, invests in pharmaceutical companies that he can't talk about, but he proceeds to talk about, and says that he acted as an informant to the SDNY. That's an acronym for Southern District of New York, which is also a metonym for the U.S. Attorney's Office, federal prosecutors there, and the FBI to dish out dirt on conservative organizations in order to get them in prison. So now we present to you the rest of the story about Matthew Tiermond.
Or one of the Epstein cases went through.
Including my interaction with him on the evening of Friday night, February 6th, the 3-year anniversary of my termination from Project Veritas.
For about a year or two, I was carrying everywhere I go.
Where?
Here.
Okay.
But that was not because of local, that was because of the bullshit I was getting nationally.
Well, what bullshit?
The O'Keefe stuff.
What happened? Like, why were you worried? Like death threats?
Oh yeah, tons. I was talking to the FBI room. I became an enemy of the mainstream right. I helped build a lot of these people. Gavin Waxman, New York Republicans, Benny Johnson. I used to host him all the time. Charlie I've known since he was 19. I dislike Charlie because he was totally corrupt. Even the righties, they're corrupt. So I've had my issue with Charlie, but we had a good time. We never fought until the O'Keefe shit.
Tiermond also reveals that he's been acting as an informant to the SDNY, the FBI, the Department of Justice, and the IRS with hopes of taking down various conservative figures which he deems to be corrupt. Tierman claims he has thousands of sources in the Department of Justice and the CIA, and quote, "This is what I do all day."
I have 1,000 sources in the DOJ and CIA I talk to all the time, and military intel, and every agency. I mean, this is what I do all day. I spent my day-to-day trying to play stories about corruption.
This is true what he's saying. Why does he have all that access? That doesn't seem like access journalists should be getting. And you weren't even a journalist, you were part of the board. Again, why were you getting access to all that information? Military intelligence. Oh, because you were a snitch.
Tell you exactly about who and what side, but I spoke to the New York Times and I spoke to National Review. I'm on all sides.
Tierman says he's on all sides. Tierman doesn't people he went to the SDNY on. But what he does say is that he was getting special treatment from the DOJ in the form of a courtesy warning, that he was on some type of, quote, enemies list.
Last year, ahead of the election, I had phone calls from DOJ sources telling me that I was on a enemies list that was going to get perp walked for non-compliance.
Is that like a threat, or they were warning you? Like,
no, they were warning. I had a friend who happened to be at the DOJ at a deputy level who called me and said on a Friday night at midnight and said, like, dude, you're on a fucking list. You're going to get perp walked in October. And it didn't happen because what happened in between then?
We're not sure what, quote, happened in between then, but Tierman also said that, quote, he has fed the SDNY tons of shit.
I've got him dead to rights on so much fraud. I've already fed the Southern District tons of shit on him. I've got more.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm not special. I like to think I'm a little special, but he's a fucking scumbag. That's why I fed the Southern District tons of shit to try and get him in prison, but...
Tierman says the SDNY is all about power, something that Tierman says he is especially interested in.
And the Southern District, especially perniciously, is all about power.
Tierman also describes how there are no bad FBI agents.
I've worked at the field offices around the country for many, many years. They're all awesome people. I have never met a single bad, malicious, coercive FBI agent in a field office anywhere in the country.
Again, why is he working with agents all across the country? Huh.
Country. They're all freaking awesome.
What's striking about that is the FBI raided multiple Project Veritas journalists while Tierman was on the board of Project Veritas in November of 2021. And Tierman expressed at the time to everybody in the newsroom that he was opposed to the actions of those FBI agents, but somehow now he's never met a bad FBI agent. And recall that the affidavit of the probable cause of that FBI raid remains completely redacted, line by line, and behind those black lines are the sources, methods, and individuals that the SDNY spoke with. Then Tierman describes working with legacy media organizations to take down conservative figures, including the New York Times, which Project Veritas had a defamation lawsuit against.
I'm working with the New York Times right now. Do I want to work with the New York Times? Of course not. They're lefties, but if they're going to go after the truth of what's going on here, then okay.
And what's going on? Like, what's going on?
Don Jr.'s insider trading and defrauding the entire system. Stephen Witkoff, Howard Lutnick. I usually call him Lutnick.
Tierman specifically mentions Donald Trump Jr. and claims that Don Jr. is engaged in insider trading and using his position to execute crypto schemes with foreign governments to bribe Trump. Now, we haven't verified this, but we're showing you what Tierman's claiming in this interaction, and that Tierman's main mission is to make sure that Donald Trump Jr.
with the FBI.
ends up in prison.
Yeah, Don Jr. was a little annoyed with it. Yeah, but fuck Don Jr. He's been fucking stealing money by the billions. One of my missions for the next 2 years is to make sure he ends up in prison.
Why?
Because he's stolen a fucking $1 billion from the American people. He's an absolute fucking grifter. He's insider trading SPAC announcements. He's doing crypto schemes to get foreign governments to pay his crypto platform to bribe the president.
So as concerning as all that sounded, nothing prepared us for what Tierman would say repeatedly. He proudly and shamelessly says over and over again that he wants to kill me.
And I shared the depot with like all the people that knew, the people who I worked with at PV or worked for me at PV. We have an alumni group chat of all of us who've been through this fucking shit.
But don't you feel bad because he was your friend?
I would kill him.
Oh.
Because he is one of the most evil people I've ever known. He is a true narcissistic sociopath.
It's ironic that Tierman refers to me as a sociopath because this next statement is perhaps the most heartless thing a person can say. Tierman claims that when he saw Charlie Kirk was murdered, he wished it was me.
I got multiple people who know me well and know my relations with Charlie, and James messaged me after Charlie was shot and said, be honest, when he was shot, did you not for a second
But he didn't like Charlie, remember?
And I've honestly responded to every one of those people. The second I saw him get shot, I wished, that was my immediate first reaction, was why couldn't it have been okay?
Tierman says he wants to make $100 million to weaponize money through investment banking. He actually says the investment banking he does is a form of theft, stealing.
I'm in a stage of life where I'm going to weaponize money.
How are you going to do that?
Make a shit ton of money.
Blackmail?
And then weaponize it. You know? And I know how to weaponize it because I've been in this whole fucking milieu. I know the donors, I know the foundations, I know how to do it. Right now, I think my highest best use of time and power is making $100 million to weaponize money better than anyone. So
How are you going to
Sounds like some kind of Jeffrey Epstein bullshit.
do that? Teach me this financial secret. What's the old-fashioned way?
I'm going to steal it.
No, really. What are you going to do?
Investment banking.
Oh.
Matt is a broker licensed through FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. He claims he wants to weaponize the money against the entire system in the same way that Paul Singer does.
I have a very aggressive venture portfolio and investment banking business, and I'm making a lot of money, and I am looking to make a lot more money to the point that I can weaponize the entire system the way Paul Singer does, but my way. So that's my goal.
Tierman acts as an advisor and he solicits investments for a variety of companies, some of which are in the pharmaceutical space and some of which he solicited investments while on the board of Project Veritas. These companies include Cathay Incorporated, Matt Tierman LLC, and a company called ClaimFound. Tierman's broker check report shows that he is currently employed by and registered with...
Because when it comes to pharmaceutical companies, when he did the expose on that Pfizer guy, he got fired shortly after that, which is weird. And the thing is, I played that same video and I lost my channel the next day for medical misinformation. So they really wanted to hide. He knew what was going on. He was in the upper echelon of things to know. What else does he know? Because he's talking about weaponizing money. I'm going to do investments. That's cool, but how are you going to get all that money? By stealing it. Okay? This guy needs to be pulled in because apparently he has so much information that could put people away for fraud and stealing, and we need you. If you know this information, we need it. You kind of sound like a co-conspirator right now. Huh? We're going to talk about people fucking getting arrested for obstruction later. Or should be getting arrested for obstruction.
Something called Bradley Woods & Co., registered on 3rd Street in New York. Last week, Tierman says in text messages with the undercover journalist that one of the companies was about to get FDA approval. He asked her for luck tomorrow because on that day, the company which does gene therapy and therapeutics data targeting was submitting a timeline to the FDA. In another text message, Tierman describes how he's not allowed to talk about any of this. Quote, restricted during the terms of engagement where sensitive information can be used by those without the same fiduciary responsibility. He says he has a, quote, target on his back because of politics, LOL. The undercover journalist asks, what's the name of the pharmaceutical company? And Tierman says he can't discuss this over text, but Tierman later identifies the name of the company in person so that it isn't in writing. Tierman says he could, quote, lose his licenses and, quote, face civil and criminal penalties levied.
But I would dose you. I'm like a doctor. I trade healthcare stocks.
That's
so,
sweet of you.
Yeah. I'm a sweet guy.
It's not that serious that you tell me which company it is.
Not a text message. Yeah, I signed an NDA.
Oh, okay.
I can't fucking text it to you. Like, I've got a fucking company that I literally have an investment banking mandate where I'm under NDA on everything they do because they're in stealth mode. So, yeah. And if I told you about it, you wouldn't have heard of it anyway. It's called Petrogen. But I can't text it because one day in court, like, that will, like, end up, like, I'll lose my license, I'll have criminal and civil torts, like, so.
Uh-oh. Think about this. He just admitted that. And if it's true, right, like he says it is, he's going to take a plea deal. I'll sing if you make this disappear. I'll sing if you make this disappear. Weaponizing money. Not that that would have to do with money, but, hear me out. You see what I'm thinking? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Well, you would be if you didn't catch with your feet, all right? Catch them with your hands.
That's just common sense.
This deck shows what the company Petrogen does. Commercializes therapeutics for periodontal disease. The deck for Petrogen has some of the people involved, including a few doctors and this CEO. What's interesting about Tierman's mention of Petrogen is the same company Petrogen was named by George Skakel in a videotaped deposition in federal court between myself and Project Veritas, the company I founded. George Skakel also was a member of the board of Project Veritas, and George Skakel says that Petrogen could be sold to a big pharma like Pfizer.
3 of the 4 companies have invested in.
Whoa! Like who? Remember, that expose is what got James O'Keefe fired. Yo. This shit could blow the roof off. We need those names. Arrest this man.
To a big pharma like Pfizer.
3 of the 4 companies you've invested in, you would consider to be in the medical field.
Petrogen could be sold to a big pharma.
Like Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Remember, Project Veritas was investigating Pfizer right when they indefinitely suspended me
Nailed it.
3 years ago this week.
We're exploring, like, now, you know how the virus keeps mutating?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're exploring is, like, why don't we just mutate it ourselves so we could preemptively develop new vaccines, right? So we have to do that. If we're going to do that, though, there's a risk of, like, as you could imagine, no one wants to be having a pharma company mutating viruses.
And both Matthew Tierman and George Skakel signed a conflict of interest policy with the board of directors where they should have disclosed their investments in a company like Petrogen or any other company that George Skakel mentioned under oath.
How do you define conflict of interest?
Oh, I don't know. Give me a dictionary and I'll read you the definition.
Tierman also mentions our documentary, The Truth Inside Veritas, and theorizes that I would release the sequel on the 3-year anniversary of February 6th, just last Friday. That was the 3rd anniversary of the board meeting where they officially ousted me.
He's already tweeted a couple times and did videos that he's going to be doing another episode of this documentary series.
Little did you know.
He released it, I guess, a couple weeks ago. He didn't. I know what he's doing. He's saving it for the 3rd anniversary of the board meeting where he was ousted in a coup.
And when is that?
February 6th, my birthday. So it all dovetails. If somebody like put a gun to my head and said, what's the most fun, memorable day of your life? I'd probably say that day.
Little did Tiermont know we had
Pretty
something
sad
else
life.
planned for that evening. James O'Keefe here in Miami Beach. We're outside the Cardozo Hotel on a Friday night, about to meet up with Matthew Tiermont, investment banker, former Project Veritas board member. He's been meeting with our undercover journalist for the last 3 months. And one of the things that we discovered is he had shot up my book.
Looks like he missed, and then he shot me right through the heart. And then, as you see, the exit wound on the other side. So this guy shot up my book and bragged to our undercover that he wants to kill me.
I would kill him.
Oh.
Because he is one of the most evil people I've ever known.
So we're about to go talk to him and ask him about...
If he's one of the most evil people you've ever known, but you have all this insider shit that could put these healthcare officials, to include yourself away for a very long time.
So how long does it take to get you in and out of that prison?
Oh, there it is.
15 seconds.
See, this motherfucker thought he was going to get lucky. He thought he was getting lucky tonight.
I've ever known.
So we're about to go talk to him and ask him about that.
So how long does it take to get you in and out of that prison?
15 seconds.
Duly noted.
The undercover journalist got up and left
Duly noted.
the table, and I showed up. We had to make sure that Tiermont was not armed.
For about a year or two, I was carrying everywhere I go.
The undercover hugged him, checked to make sure there was no weapon or gun, and then we approached in Miami Beach. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil.
Is that
Thou
a Team
art with
Mosquito
me.
Gene?
Thy rod and thy staff comfort me.
Not him, the guy. But
Prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost, most glorious Prince of the heavenly armies, Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in our battle against principalities and powers, against the rulers of this world of darkness, against the spirits of wickedness in the high places. Defend us in our battle against principalities and powers, against the rulers of this world of darkness, against the spirits of wickedness in the high places. Ephesians 6:12.
Surprise!
Hey, is this seat taken? So for the last few months, the person you've been talking to actually works for me.
What's that?
Every text message you sent, that person actually works for me. So we're doing a story about how you said you wanted to kill me.
I didn't say I wanted to kill you. I said, metaphorically, I would carve out your heart and eat it, referencing, as in the depot tape, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Sure about that? You sure about that?
Yeah.
You said you wanted to murder me. You wanted to kill me.
About that?
Yeah. Well, I think you're evil as fuck, so I think that...
Did you say you wanted to kill me? A moment ago you said you didn't say that. Did you say it?
I don't recall.
I would kill him.
Quote, I would kill James O'Keefe.
It's metaphoric. I wouldn't physically kill you if I was
I don't know if you're
physically
paying
going to...
attention, but if you look, the staff is scrambling. They're so confused on what to do.
kill you, I'd kill you.
Did you physically put a bullet through my heart in a book?
I had to do some target practice ahead of deer season, and that was what was around for a target.
You didn't seem like a very good shot.
No, I'm a pretty good shot.
All right, looks like you missed the first time around. Your bullet went up there. What was it, 7 feet, 7 yards, 15 yards?
Well, so that's theft.
Yeah.
That's my property.
Yeah, there's a bullet right through my heart. That's a threat.
No, it's not.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, you shot me in the heart. You say you want to kill me. I've got some more tape. You said when Charlie Kirk died, you wished. No, we're gonna file a restraining order against you. We're gonna file a restraining order against you, a criminal restraining order.
Dude, to be honest, I don't even know what the fuck a boogaloo is. To me, they just, I don't know. They don't make. If I think what they think they are, I don't think they know what they're doing.
I look forward to discovery. That'll be exciting. Yeah, and you said that Charlie Kirk was corrupt. That was a direct quote.
Yes.
I dislike Charlie because he was totally corrupt.
He messaged me after Charlie Kirk was shot and said, be honest, when Charlie Kirk was shot, did you not for a second wish it was James O'Keefe?
Yeah, many
my
people
bad.
did message me that day.
Why couldn't it have been James O'Keefe?
Because you are the most evil motherfucker. I know.
But
I'm not a rat. And you went to the FBI. You also said that you were a confidential informant to the Southern District of New York. That's one of the other things you said.
That's why I fed the Southern District tons of shit to try and get him in prison. But
You said you were a confidential informant to the SDNY. Could you tell us about that?
Oh yeah, I'm 100%. Oh yeah. This is a pleasure.
Could you tell us more about how you said you were a confidential informant to the SDNY?
About you?
You mentioned a number of folks. You mentioned Tucker Carlson. You tell me who you mentioned because we have it all on tape. And you're a rat. You're an FBI informant.
Okay.
Dude, he looked like a rat right there.
You're gonna have to be more specific. I've never talked.
We have everything on tape.
Why about you? So.
You said that you talked to the SDNY. Can you tell us more about that?
No, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Who did you feed SDNY information? You went to the FBI, Matt. You're a rat. You ratted on someone to SDNY. I want to know who it is. Answer the question. You know who you ratted on. Tell us who it is. So it says I would kill. Would you kill me?
It's a fucking part of speech. Do I think you are an evil scumbag? Yes.
Yeah. This is pretty nuts, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, well that's my property.
This doesn't look good for you, bro. You're shooting someone in the heart? You want to carve my heart out and eat it?
That is a
Are you in love with me?
Oh.
I'm not the guy who's hooking up with dudes.
Because you're So is that projection? Is that No, that's my book.
No, it's not.
If you touch me, we have security and they're going to Matt? Matt?
I will see you in court for that.
Okay.
So. Okay, I got to go get my Uber. But do you want to walk with me?
Yeah, I will.
Oh,
well,
no.
You had phone calls from the
Shit.
DOJ. You got to pay your tab, buddy.
No, she
Oh. I should have guessed it when this
We're here with
motherfucker
Matthew
was
Tierman,
like,
who has admitted
I
that
want
he
money, more money, and more money. You wonder why? I wonder why. And you want to know, guess why? Maybe because he's a Jew. Damn it. It took me 57 minutes to make it about Jews. But it's true, though. I'm not lying. He is a Jew.
went to the SDNY. He's kind of being very
I
evasive
actually
about
like
it.
that shirt.
But he did say that he
Except for the
did give
Beretta.
information to
Beretta's kinda
SDNY.
gay.
He said he was feeding them tons of shit. Do you know it's a crime? Well, we'll wait till he pays the bill. He was going to walk away without paying his bill. You know it's a crime to lie to the
I
FBI?
love how you spin everything.
So did I spin everything while I was at Project Veritas? Did I spin
You're
everything
going.
at Project Veritas? I worked there for 10, 13 years. Was it all a lie?
You spun a lot of shit.
What videos were fake at Project Veritas?
What you used to do was everybody else would do the work, and then you would helicopter in between Showtunes LARPing festivals.
That you attended a musical in Oklahoma, didn't you? You attended that.
Actually, that was the one talented thing that you did. You were actually quite
I appreciate that very much. Why won't you come clean about who you spoke to inside the SDNY?
Because I don't work for you. Because I don't have to tell you anything.
There are
So when
literally
people ask me questions about you, I tell them the truth.
Have you ever
about your behavior?
Have you
your
ever-
behavior is grotesque. You're grotesque. You
Oh.
and I love how
Is this grotesque? Is a bullet through my heart and the book grotesque?
I need a target.
Who did you go to target practice with to shoot a
Yo,
book?
them Scarface ones. I
This was
might
on
like.
a ranch in Michigan.
Were you alone?
I was.
So you shot my book alone in a ranch in Michigan? A bullet through my heart?
What's the difference between me being alone and me being with other people when I'm doing target?
Some would say that it's pretty weird that you're alone shooting my book through a heart with a bullet. Was it a
I mean, if
9
it's the
millimeter
only
bullet?
target
No,
I
it
had.
wasn't a 9mm bullet.
Was it a rifle bullet?
It was a rifle bullet because I was deer practice.
So you were alone in Michigan
30-06?
shooting my book? There's the exit wound. With a rifle bullet? Is that what you're doing?
Where is my Uber?
The FBI I'm going to hold
did
this
not-
up. I've already fed the
Oh,
Southern
shit.
District of New York tons of shit.
When-
Who did
I'll
you
check out a
feed
bunch
the
more of their
Southern
shirts
District
after
of
we're
New York
done.
tons of shit,
When
Matthew?
people called me and asked me questions about you, I answered them truthfully and honestly.
Did you feed tons of shit? What shit did you feed the Southern District? Be specific,
The
please.
truth about your spending and your abuse of the
so
people around you.
So we have Matt Tierman is on tape admitting to be an FBI informant. He's the first time, breaking news, Matthew Tierman has just admitted that he's an
When
you're
people,
a Fed. What is the Philadelphia Society going to say when they see this?
Bro,
Aren't you on the board of the Philadelphia Society, Matthew?
I'm on the board of many organizations. Not Project Veritas, because you blew that up.
There was no Project Veritas after he set fire to it.
So you're saying that I set fire to it, but you indefinitely suspended me without pay 3 years ago.
I didn't indefinitely suspend you.
You voted on that.
I did vote on it because it
Oh,
made
you
sense when you were stealing so much money to use for your own utilization. And buying
You said that I banged private whores on private planes.
The dude spent $2.5 million on private planes to bang chicks who slid into his DMs.
That's a lie. Can you name a specific plane that I banged a whore on?
No, I did not say that. And if these things are character,
We have it on tape. So I'm quoting you. Yeah.
Dude, your career is floundering, bro. You're doing fuck all nothing. Like, this is the vendetta.
Tell the camera my career is floundering.
You misappropriated millions of dollars in a 501c3. You abuse your employees.
That's defamation.
You slept with women for jobs. No.
That's total defamation. So when you make that statement, you're going to have to back it up with evidence, Matt.
We will do that.
Because what the American people is seeing is a guy who says he wants to murder me. You're shooting up my heart on my book. You say you're a confidential informant to the Southern District of New York, and you won't. Okay, let me quote you. Quote, that's why I fed the Southern District of New York tons of shit to try to get him in prison. And you still.
Every law enforcement agency who would ask me a question, as much information as they wanted. The American
Why haven't you done any investigative videos? Why hasn't any of the people done any investigative videos?
Why haven't they investigated you?
What investigative video have you done within the last year that's been a hit?
Dude, unlike you, I don't do it to LARP for the audience.
Why do you do it, Matthew? Why be a confidential FBI informant? Why? What's the purpose of you doing this?
Truth, justice, in the American way. Calling out evil, narcissistic, sociopathic motherfuckers.
Is it all about money? Is it?
But this guy says he can destroy so many people with the shit that he knows. So you're withholding that. You're doing exactly what you're saying he does.
All about money to you,
dude. This is like
$100 million is what you said. You wanted $100 million.
Right now, I think my high best use of time and power is making $100 million to organize money better than anybody.
Is that your price?
My price is my life, right? No, your price is Dirty Horse.
Well, I guess your price is $100 million. Matthew Tiraman, there he is, threatening court. He did admit, Matthew. Let's see who he's texting. He's going to text. Who's he texting right there? Who's he texting? Hi. Hi. Yeah, we're filming you too. Yeah. FBI informant. SDNY informant Matthew Tiraman. Wow, we're here in Miami Beach. And
well, at least he didn't end up running. Didn't end up running. I would.
Billions of pages of.
I would like to know if he files a lawsuit against him. Would be interesting, especially with this evidence. What else do we have? Oh. It's not looking good for people that know Epstein, especially in New Mexico. Wait, New Mexico again? The place where they're building tunnels under houses. What else have they been doing? Nobody wants to move to New Mexico. Apparently I saw a report on that. But you know what? Nothing. New Mexico is great.
Documents related to Jeffrey Epstein providing more information on the convicted sex offender's crimes. Among the files, claims bodies are buried near Epstein's Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County. Tonight, the state land commissioner demanding an investigation.
I'm going to keep asking questions and keep poking around until I get an answer.
Those coming from an anonymous email in 2019 addressed to a local radio host.
Malia Chavez spoke with him and has the details of that email.
Yeah, Doug, Shelley, we're also hearing tonight from the Attorney General's office, who says it takes these allegations seriously, but needs more information to do something about it.
Eddie Aragon says it was early in the morning in November 2019 when he got this email from someone claiming they were a former staffer at Zorro Ranch. Writing, "Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex."
I got the email. I was startled.
The emailer says they had 7 sex videos, including some with minors, but never actually sent the footage, asking Aragon for digital currency Bitcoin.
Approximately at that time, Bitcoin was worth about $8,000. They wanted to exchange 1 Bitcoin for the videos that they had in possession.
Aragon says he didn't know what to do with the email, so he sent it to the FBI.
I've since referred to the FBI on a number of other things, and I've never heard back from them on any things.
Fast forward 6 years later, the DOJ released Aragon's email as part of the Epstein
Pretty
files.
big fucking rate.
Matters. I think that New Mexicans need answers. I think the victims need answers.
That's what prompted New Mexico Public Lands Commissioner Stephanie Garcia Richard to send this letter to the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office Tuesday, asking them to thoroughly investigate this disturbing allegation regarding the referenced burials.
We need to get to the bottom of really what happened in New Mexico.
She says she was horrified to learn in 2019 that our state was still leasing lands around Zorro Ranch to Epstein's company.
I canceled the leases at that time.
A month after Epstein killed himself in jail, the land around the mansion totals around 1,200 acres and hasn't been leased out since.
We're thinking to possibly turn it into a memorial to honor the victims.
Can we find the kid,
as some
the
kind
body?
of wildlife sanctuary,
Or maybe
perhaps.
more?
So that's what we're thinking for that land.
Attorney
Kind of like, I don't know, cadaver dogs. I realize it's a lot of fucking space, but there might be more than just two. I mean, would make sense. But I mean, they don't have the manpower. They don't have the financing. Somebody should call Elon Musk. He'll do it. Maybe.
General Raul Torres' office responding to Garcia Richard hours later with this letter. As we understand it, the allegations appear to be unsubstantiated, it says, going on to say they will work to obtain the original files. Once such information is obtained, our office will review it to determine whether any further action is warranted, and if so, the appropriate next steps.
To my knowledge, no investigation has taken place thus far. It doesn't sound like anything is going to be taking place very soon.
The commissioner says she's ready to offer all state land for investigation, but can't do anything about the ranch since it's privately owned, bought by new owners and renamed. Aaliyah Chavez, KOAT Action 7 News.
Wait, I thought they said nobody bought it. I guess they're not going to be able to look at it. Makes total sense. I mean, if I was a new landowner, sorry. I don't know. Because it depends. Yeah, I would let them look. But, when it comes to digging, got to make sure they're human bones. Can you do that? No. Give me a second. I'll tell you in a minute. Not Mexico. God damn it. San Rafael Ranch, LLC. I wonder what they do. Give me a second. The individuals or entity behind San Rafael Ranch, LLC have not been publicly identified. Bro, what if it's still an Epstein? Or somebody related to that? And that's why they probably won't let them look on the ranch. That would not surprise me. Or if it's Jeffrey himself. He finally came back from Israel and became somebody else.
Republican Congressman Thomas Massie.
So you know how I've been saying, well, all this Epstein shit and the FBI covered Department of Justice. Why don't we arrest Pam Bondi? I've been saying this for a while. Why don't we oppress? arrest Pam Bondi. Well,
He says holding Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt of Congress
the
is on the
ones for
table
the
if she
beef
doesn't answer
jerky.
questions about the Justice Department's handling
Remember
of
when
the
they were talking about with the lettuce, right? The lettuce, the pizza with lettuce.
Jeffrey Epstein case during a hearing with lawmakers later today. Joining us now, co-hosts of The Rising on thehill.com and YouTube. I've got Lindsey Granger and Robbie Suave. Good morning to both of you. Lindsey, take your pick on topics that could be thrown Bondi's way today, right? Epstein, Minnesota, DHS, ICE funding, potential government shutdown. What do you think is going to be the headline at the end of this hearing?
And don't forget Venezuela as well. But I think that out of all those huge news-making stories, we're definitely going to hear Bondi have to explain herself around Epstein. I mean, she was one of the people that overpromised and underdelivered on this. And now that we're months into the new year, people just expected more, less redactions in the files, more information and more transparency. And so, out of the half of the files that have been released and the millions that still haven't come out, people want to know, did the DOJ mishandle this? And what are the exact reasons why? And so I think we're seeing that not only the survivors, but Republican and Democratic Congress people are pushing for this. So she's really going to have to put her feet to the fire and answer some of these questions.
Yeah. Robbie, let me play a bit of sound. Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna, who named 6 alleged co-conspirators of Epstein on the House floor on Tuesday, just told News Nation this last night.
People want accountability. They're tired of the cover-up. There is a lot of explaining to do. The FBI has a lot of explaining to do of why they redacted so many of these things in March.
Yeah, so Robbie, what do you see ahead as lawmakers?
Few things I'm getting out of these lawmakers that came out of there. There's some crazy shit, according to them, that they saw. There's a lot of redactions. But were those redactions done by this administration or the previous administration? Because they can only give you what was left. And surprisingly, what they failed to mention when they released the original photos and how they blocked out everyone's faces except for men. And we know men aren't the only people in these files. And they're like, wait a minute, some of these women are abusers as well. Wow. Like Asia Argento.
Continue to really hone in on these redactions and what it's going to mean for Attorney General Bondi's testimony later today.
Well, I agree with Lindsey that the AG has very little credibility now.
Did he sign an NDA? Because now he's a journalist.
Frankly, with anyone, with MAGA, with her own side, she said there was such a thing as a client list, presumably powerful men who Epstein had trafficked underage girls to, but no such thing exists in any of the files released. I mean, my question for Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie is they've named these 6 names on the House floor, and they said they're highly incriminated in the files. But what does that mean? There's evidence of them engaged in the sexual crimes, or is it something else, or is it just some kind of guilt by association? So we actually need a lot more information about what exactly they are alleging.
Wait a minute. So they get mad at the DOJ for being cryptic, but now they're being cryptic. It's a game. It's a fucking game for these people in Congress. That's all it is. Because the information, if they really wanted it to be out, it'd have been out. If they really wanted to get some of these names out, they would have taken the names from the victims that they paraded in front of the cameras. What happened to that list? Marjorie Taylor Greene was supposed to read out loud. Fucking Nancy Mace was supposed to read out loud on the Senate floor. This motherfucker, Thomas Massie, was supposed to read it on the Senate floor. Ro Khanna was supposed to read the names on the Senate floor from these lists that they were given to by the victims. Where did those go? But you know what they also don't mention? Donald Trump.
Why there was then a discrepancy between 6 people who are also, involved in Epstein's sexual crimes, but then why did the Attorney General say there's no, and Kash Patel said there was no one else indicated criminally in such a manner. So it's a huge conflict in these different accounts that I think all of the American people, MAGA and Democrats, want answers to.
Yeah. And Robbie, just a quick follow-up.
Republicans
You questioned
and
the
Democrats
continued focus and
fucking go
outrage
on.
over the Epstein files. Yes. Do you still feel that way this morning, and why?
Well, I do, because I've been told now for months and months and months that there is a cabal of elite individuals involved, not just in they were wrong to continue associating with Epstein, but that they were involved in sex crimes, and millions more files come out, and we don't see that. Instead, we see an attempt to smear people by association. But Ro Khanna says now he named those 6 people, and he implied, at least, I think, that it has to do with Epstein's crimes. So I want to get to the bottom of that. I want the Justice Department to take action. But I don't want to just keep hearing someone did something wrong, we can't tell you who. That starts to make me suspicious that people are not being honest about what's actually in the unredacted files.
We'll see what's in store today. Lindsay, before I let y'all go, meanwhile, you've got this federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. refusing to indict 6 congressional Democrats over their video urging military members to refuse to follow illegal orders from the president. I mean, we've been following this closely. Another setback for the DOJ here. What do you make of that decision?
I think it's an example of when you seek political retribution or try to overcharge as the Department of Justice, an entity that's supposed to be apolitical, of it not really working out well. And when you attack people like veteran Mark, people what's actually on the book for people in the military, that they don't have to follow illegal.
What the fuck? What the fuck just happened?
Orders. It's not something that he said that really should rock the boat too much. And he and the rest of the Congress members that were part of that video. So I think at a time when Congress on both sides of the aisle were questioning some of the president's actions regarding Venezuela and our so-called war on drugs and Maduro and everything else, I think that was a rightful statement to happen in that moment at a time when the world was watching what we were doing next and then whether or not it was legal.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and down.
That was weird. Oh, and now we're going to listen to another person who really, really wanted to get this stuff out, who saw the files again. She also saw the files. She also said she was going to read names out. Bro, and when I saw this video, I'm like, God damn, I used to think she was hot. And now that I see her in this video, I'm like, oh my God. I'll take that back. Now she really does look like a grandma.
I had an office under the stairs next to the kitchen. They used to download pictures like this, just like that.
What kind of pictures?
Naked girls from Sweden, from Romania, from Czechoslovakia, from Brazil, from
All
Colombia.
minors? All young girls?
Very young, very young.
Like when you say very young, how young are we talking?
16, 17. The teenagers, they have braces, most of them.
Younger than that, though?
Yeah.
This is his butler.
Braces. It's terrifying, and it gets even worse. This latest release serving as vindication, though, for the President of the United States. Before we get into those details, one little nugget here. An old FBI file indicating Trump called the Palm Beach Police Department 20 years ago to say that he had thrown Epstein out of his club. Trump called the Palm Beach police to tell him, thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this. Trump told him people in New York knew that Epstein was disgusting. That's to the chief of police of the Palm Beach Police Department. That's an FBI file that's just been in this latest round of millions of files released. Trump said Ghislaine Maxwell was Epstein's operative. She is evil, and to focus on her, Trump told him that he was around Epstein once when teenagers were present, and Trump got the hell out of there, as a quotation. Trump was one of the very first people to call when people found out that they were investigating Epstein. Remember, this is before Epstein was even criminally convicted. After all the outrageous things that they have screamed about the president For the past 2 days, Democrats have had full unredacted access to what's been released, and you notice that those screams are not very loud right now. You notice that Democrats aren't really saying much of anything after 48 hours of having access to these completely unredacted files. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert joins us now. She spent today poring over millions of unredacted Epstein files.
She looks like a witch.
And Congresswoman, it's good to see you. Let's start with what you found. What did you see?
Yes, well, this was certainly a difficult day. I was only there for a short time yesterday reviewing the unredacted documents and spent several hours today reviewing many, many more. And there's still so much more that I would like to find. But this seems that it wasn't only the trafficking of young girls, as the narrative suggests, but there are code words that suggest Jeffrey Epstein and his associates could maybe even be engaging in some sort of consumption. Is that human consumption? Are there code words? There's a lot of talk of beef jerky. There's a restaurant called The Cannibal where the owner is listed in some of these documents. Now, that isn't a restaurant that is just proclaiming to serve human meat by any means. But some of this just, it seems that
he'd be a military
there's
officer.
a lot of conspiracies that make you wonder. And I saw more emails about torture, and these coded conversations still have a very clear topic that torture was big. It was a big driver for them. And these were sick people doing very, very sick things. As you mentioned, there are many women who are involved in this. You have folks that were working directly for Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right. I don't know, man.
And a lot of these women are the ones that are sending emails saying, here's one 10 years old, 11 years old, 9 years old. And it's just very disturbing to see the women who are involved in this as well.
I want to get to the torture. If we can skip ahead to take 7 here, guys. This is an email reportedly from Epstein to the Saudi Sultan Ahmed.
What woman? You gave the name of 6 men. What women? Give me one. Give us one of the names. Just one. Chrissy Teigen. Other than that, give me another one. Oh, wait, you didn't give that name?
Bin Sulayem, who's one of 6 names that's been revealed that were unredacted after pressure to the DOJ. It says, where are you? This is from Epstein to this Saudi Sultan. Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video.
Absolutely the kind.
That Sultan was a name that was redacted in here and then unredacted. Can you elaborate more on what you're seeing regarding torture?
Well, unfortunately, and maybe fortunate, so it's not scarred into my being, a lot of these unredacted files that we are able to view have missing items and are still further redacted. Some of them we've been able to unredact.
What are the women's names? One of them, I don't know, Asia Argento, who went from being a victim under the Me Too movement to apparently doing it to a boy, a young boy, when she was done wrong by Harvey Weinstein.
To a larger extent, but a lot of the images aren't there where they say they are, where a JPEG link is present. There's not a way to actually view that, and we're being told by the DOJ that it just doesn't exist, even though the link is there. And there's a line here, I think, between victim and perpetrator that is very, very thin, and there's a lot of heat on the DOJ right now, and I get that, but I can also see from reading these emails that some of the individuals claiming to be victims could have also been groomers themselves.
Well,
and with missing information, it's hard to tell exactly what is being discussed.
Yeah, that was what's been alleged this week, is that there's women redacted from the file simply because they're women, and just the appearance that they were victimized. You know, they might have been like pimps, like female pimps that were moving these women to Epstein, which is a frustration that we're seeing. Here's one more. Let's just show you this. This is to and from, both redacted on this one. To and from are both redacted on this one. I want to go to take 6 if we can. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G? Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. I mean, after what you've seen today, does an email like that seem authentic and realistic to you, that something like that could have happened?
Did you see the
Yeah,
email?
so we are seeing these names unredacted, and some of the names,
Who are they?
even though they're claiming to be victims, the DOJ is claiming they are victims, have had public stories about them
Like
and
who?
their encounters with Epstein and even Ghislaine Maxwell. And so, I do see a pattern with a lot of these females who were associates, lieutenants, second in command, executive assistants to these two horrible human beings, these horrible pedophiles, creeps, and there is a pattern, and it's hard to believe that they can claim to be a victim when they are continuing to invite people to these things and have conversations like that, especially when bodies have been buried. And we all want justice and accountability, and I just think some accountability still needs to be had for these lieutenants.
Right. The Deputy Attorney General says that he doesn't believe that any more charges will come from all of this.
From
and
the first
and you're
3
saying
million?
that there's still deeper redactions and things that you can't see. Why is this happening? My final question to you. Why is this so difficult?
Wait, you said
I
there's
wish it were not this difficult.
Nobody can actually possibly get prosecuted for what's in those files yet. When he gave the briefing, he said there's still investigations going on, and that's why some of the ones that aren't out yet are not out yet. They're active investigations. So are people going to get charged or not? Or was he just being cryptic and meaning only the first 3 million pages they released? Or maybe I'm just overthinking it, which I'm probably not.
From the beginning, the rollout of this has been an embarrassment, and that's why I forced the release of these files. But I do believe that we can still get justice and accountability on some of these names. Even a federal judge said regarding one of the women who is redacted over and over in these emails, she pled immunity. She received immunity in one case, but later a federal judge said that he believes the same woman knowingly was engaged in these criminal activities. And so I do think that there are some instances where maybe the statute of limitations has not yet been met, and there could still be further prosecutions. And I think it's time to stop sweeping this under the rug. The American people demand accountability. Congress is demanding accountability, and we have got to uncover this further. These are sick, demonic Satanists who have been running too much of our country and harming too many children for far too long.
Yeah, I just, again, during the
There's that Satanist thing again. It's making a comeback. And they're acting like this is the first time they've heard about it. You can't tell me you didn't know. Oh, that's right, because people were getting videos taken off on YouTube for talking about things like this. Maybe. Misinformation. Not happening. Nothing is as it seems. Oh, shit. I used to say, when movies, a lot of the older movies, I don't know if it's so much newer movies, that in these movies, they would find a way to randomly throw in the title of the movie. And, some people don't pay attention. Like, I listen to this weird shit. Maybe it's my autism. And then I forgot what I was going to say. God damn it.
Too many children for far too long.
Yeah, I just...
Sick, demonic Satanists who have been running.
I know it had something to do with the cabal. We all know. We all know. Adrenochrome. Hypothetically. In a fantasy world. But that's what she's talking about, YouTube. So I'm not bringing it up. They're the ones talking about it. Okay? Relax. Don't do it. If you want to go through it. Steve Bannon should be in jail right now. Why is he not in jail right now? There's a 2-hour-long video of him and Jeffrey Epstein doing an interview. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I actually went to the website. It's part of an 8-hour-long video, but the video itself is 2 hours long. And I need to actually be able to pay attention to it. So we'll probably go over that one later on down the road if I feel like doing it. But it's wild.
What's up, guys? Spenny. There are people who are very guilty in the Epstein files, and then there are people who have been vindicated completely in the Epstein files. Like, for instance, this FBI document that dropped today proving that President Trump was snitching on Epstein to the cops in Palm Beach. Donald Trump has been outed as a FBI informant by the speaker. President Trump built his early political career on telling all of America that Jeffrey Epstein was a dirty, filthy criminal and degenerate, along with Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew and so on. And here you can see in the document, Donald Trump telling them who to go after, saying go after Ghislaine Maxwell. She's sick, saying that Jeffrey Epstein preyed on little kids, and talking to the cops about Jeffrey Epstein, talking to the cops in order to get Jeffrey Epstein around kids, and talking.
What the fuck? Palm Beach Country Club is a Jewish country club. Of all things, I just happen to glance and look over and see. What the fuck?
Talking to the cops about Jeffrey Epstein, talking to the cops in order to get Jeffrey Epstein arrested. That's what's available in this document. All of the corporate media is publishing this. Trump reportedly called the police about Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell was evil. Every single outlet has reported this, all the way up to ABC News, NBC News, CNN. They're all freaking out about it, crying, forced to admit Trump blew the whistle on Jeffrey Epstein. People are making memes about it. Oh, cool. And using our tweet to do that. It's a great meme. I really like it. Ah, yes. Trump called the cops on Epstein. Trump reported Epstein before Epstein became a convicted sex offender. That's very important in the timeline. It is probably because of President Trump that Epstein became a convicted sex offender. Bill Gates befriended Epstein after he was a convicted sex offender. Democrats won't mention Bill Gates' name publicly. They call President Trump a rapist. This is why Donald Trump calls it a hoax. Okay. Now, there are mentions of Elon Musk in these files as well. We've covered that. Right? That it was just tertiary emails. I mean, unless you have some type of other evidence, it's just like back and forth trying to schedule a meeting emails. And Elon Musk has said many months ago that he never met Jeffrey Epstein, never flew on his plane, never went to his island, never was in the same room as the guy. Okay. I mean, we believe him. You're going to have to present other evidence to prove otherwise. But they had like an email exchange where they were trying to get together. Okay. Didn't happen. So it is what it is. But Elon Musk has been going hard in on Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon has a much closer relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And in full disclosure, I like Steve Bannon. He's been on the program.
Fuck Steve
I like his
Bannon.
insights into things. So I'm like, but this is what it is. We're going to report on it. Here we go. Epstein was working with Steve Bannon on a global populist movement before his arrest. The anti-elite crusader taking advice from the most elite pedophile on earth. This is just this is just a matter of fact. There's a ton of emails and messages between the two of them. You can see here in the Steve Bannon email file, people have.
What I don't like about when I was looking through these, like if you look, this is all one. This is all one. So you'll get the beginning, the reply, the reply, reply. Why didn't they just break it down into the final reply email? That would have made sense. But I guess they wanted to put it all out there.
People have replicated the email. This is like amazing, the world that we live in. They've replicated Jeffrey Epstein's, it's called Jmail, Jeffrey Epstein's email accounts. So you can see here a voluminous number of emails from Steve Bannon. Loading page 2 of 6. There are 7,500 emails with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon, sex offender plea deal case. So this would be what the email looks like. Here are the text messages with Steve Bannon. You can see here. It's wild that you can do this. Text messages from Steve Bannon and with Steve Bannon. You see there are lots of them. We've addressed some of them on the program. Some of the crypto scam stuff. So anyway, it's very unique and very interesting. Does it show criminality? Does it show a lack of judgment? It is what it is. Steve Bannon spent over a year coordinating with Jeffrey Epstein on how to rehab Jeffrey Epstein's image. The texts show the documentary where they were filming paid for by Epstein while Bannon would keep the profits. Bannon has refused to release many, many hours of footage. I mean, this is something that was well known before it gets deleted, the full Jeffrey Epstein interview by Steve Bannon. I'm not sure if it's the full one, but it's part of it. It's a 2-hour Jeffrey Epstein interview. A lot of information surrounding the Epstein files has been taken down or redacted. Make sure to bookmark this. Here's the full 1 hour.
Remember, when you're answering on these questions,
and you can
I'm
hear
not in the
Steve
shot,
Bannon
and they're never going to hear my voice. So a little bit, you got to repeat in your answer, you got to repeat what my question was.
Oh,
a little bit.
Okay.
Santa Fe Institute. Why, when you're at the top of your game on Wall Street, do you decide to finance, which was at the time, or endow, or become the donor or sponsor, however you want to say it, for what was considered the most cutting edge group of mathematicians in the world? Action.
So Santa Fe Institute in the late 80s, early 90s, I was interested, I was on the board of Rockefeller.
So there we go.
Rockefeller.
So you can go watch it. Yeah, I encourage you to. I encourage you to go watch it, go read all the emails, go look at all the text messages.
It's crazy. Everything's like
for yourself. Very interesting. Jeffrey Epstein saying that that the devil scares him. I was wondering if he's the devil.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody knows
smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan.
The devil scares me, says Jeffrey Epstein. Michael Flynn saying this is really, really ugly, in an exchange where Steve Bannon is talking about, whether he would run the White House with certain selections for personnel, disparaging, in some cases, President Trump, and so on. Steve Bannon right here. He is competitive, which only reinforces how stupid Trump is. To think I worked this hard for 10 years to get psycho Chris Christie running the country. Well, anyway, there's lots of these, but it is Elon Musk who is now taking sort of a very proactive stance in, going after Steve Bannon for his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So that's the relationship. There is a relationship there. Steve Bannon was working with Epstein in order to try and rehabilitate his image. They exchanged and shared correspondence a lot and recently. And here we go. And another one goes down, but still no arrests, says Elon Musk. Elon Musk regularly talking about how it's mind-blowing that not a single person has been arrested on the Epstein list. Elon Musk sharing this.
Yep, everything that we've talked about.
On January 30th, 2026, the Department of Justice released hundreds of gigabytes of material related to Jeffrey Epstein. Buried within that data dump were some 2,000 videos that had never been released. And while they're technically public, they are stored in a way that makes them very hard to find or browse. The public then has two choices: download hundreds of gigabytes of data, or click through hundreds of web pages one by one. I did both. The vast majority of the videos, and by far the most revealing ones, live in dataset 10. These are videos seized from Epstein's devices, footage he recorded himself, received from others, or downloaded from the internet. Taken together, they paint the most vivid picture yet of Jeffrey Epstein's dark world. His lavish lifestyle and worldview, his mannerisms and quirks, his sense of humor, and sense of impunity. We've published all 14 hours of this footage, excluding only obvious duplicates, audio-only files, and fully redacted videos that contain neither sound nor image. You can watch them yourself. As I watched hours and hours of this footage, here's what stood out to me. These are the first unredacted videos in dataset 10. The ID page of Epstein's passport, issued on March 8, 2019, then the endorsement page of that passport. It reads in part, "The bearer was convicted of a sex offense against a minor." Then comes a sleek 10-minute drone reel of Epstein's 2 private islands in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Little St. James and Great St. James, produced by the architectural firm overseeing their redesign in 2018. And then, this 7-second clip. Watched together, these first few files inadvertently deliver a blunt message. Epstein may have been a convicted sex offender, but he was also obscenely rich. Many of the videos in the set showcase the luxury lifestyle. Manicured island alleyways glowing in the morning sun, meals at high-end restaurants, parties on the yachts and private jets. One nearly 38-minute VHS tape of Epstein's Island looks like something out of the Succession opening credits.
Lifestyle.
And it carries the same unease. Because no matter how glossy the footage looks, you can never quite forget that what you're watching is a potential crime scene in progress. Partly because whenever women appear on camera, their faces, and often their bodies, are obscured by black squares.
Tell us what you'll be learning today.
I'm learning some
Yay! Exactly.
Some videos appear to be ones Epstein sent.
I don't even want to know
$100 bills fanned out in a hand, glittering jewelry, and what looks like explicit videos of himself. Far more appear to be videos sent back to him. Young women dancing, or sitting, or lying down in bed, their bodies obscured by black squares, with naked limbs occasionally slipping into view. A large brown teddy bear sits on the bed of one young woman, whose videos recur throughout the dataset. Those videos are extremely difficult to watch. More disturbing still are the occasional moments, more often than you'd think, when the redaction fails, when a girl's face is visible for a few frames, or even for an entire clip. Another set of videos, filmed by Epstein himself, offers a clearer look at how he treated women.
Look a little happier. Smile when you smile like that. Go ahead, just one. You can smile, it's okay. Look at me like you love me.
In one clip, he seems to urge a girl to do something she's clearly uncomfortable with.
Just think about it.
In later clips, she appears to be shaking her head. But perhaps the most disturbing videos are those that, without context, look almost innocent, like this one, of a young girl in a candy store picking out jelly beans. Or this one, which would look wholesome, were the girl's face not redacted. One clip shows a toddler, possibly even an infant,
This is sick.
making noises as the voice behind the camera, which sounds like Epstein's, coos and touches the child.
Hello, Tootsie. Hello, Tootsie.
One fully unredacted video, shot from above, shows a toddler in a white t-shirt and shorts walking down the steps. Combined with videos showing a paternity test on Epstein's desk, the question that lingers in my mind is, who is this child? And why is he here? In some videos, Epstein appears on camera with his potential victims. They dance, they laugh. In one clip, he chases someone around a white marble kitchen island. In another clip, Epstein seems to lift a girl's shirt mid-video. She protests, weakly, before giving up. The video has no sound.
It's almost like it was a advertisement video. Look at his face.
Then there are videos that appear accidental. Epstein posing with well-known figures who seem to think they're being photographed. Like this one, outside the Louvre, with former French culture minister Jack Lang. Or this one, on a private jet, seated across from psychologist Steven Pinker. There's also a whole cluster of videos featuring New Age guru Deepak Chopra, self-recorded monologues about the nature of consciousness and universe and reality.
You evoke the universe in every act of perception. You are the universe.
Oh.
Another category includes videos Epstein appears to have downloaded. One is a low-resolution Spanish subtitle.
When I first saw this, I thought that it was the fuck around find out guy. Then I totally remembered this is a lot older than that.
titled version of the Hot Crazy Women Matrix video, in which a man named
Or
Dana
Latinas.
McClellan charts women on axis of hot and crazy.
Hot is, as usual, measured from 0 to 10. We're all familiar with that. Crazy.
Yo, crazy begins at level 4, women, not 0. Wild.
Measured from 4 to 10 because, of course, there's no such thing as a woman who's not at least a 4 crazy.
There's a 4-minute animation of a bicyclist riding through the musical notation of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. A Fox News segment anchored by Tucker Carlson about John Bolton. A Britain's Got Talent clip featuring a talking dog named Wendy.
Come on, hey, say something. No.
And then there's porn. A lot of porn. The sheer volume of these videos is revealing in and of itself. So are the watermarks in the corners of the screen, the only visible part of those clips. Towards the end of the first batch of videos in dataset 10 is a nearly 2-hour interview between Epstein and Steve Bannon, reportedly filmed for a sympathetic documentary. The conversation drifts through philosophy, economics, science, and Epstein's ascent to elite institutions. One of the wilder and most revealing exchanges comes at the very end, when Bannon challenges Epstein on whether institutions should accept money from a Tier 1 sexual predator.
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
The lowest?
I'm the lowest.
You're
yes.
the lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
Epstein defends his philanthropy by arguing that the recipients, like mothers of children receiving polio vaccines in Pakistan, would not care about the source of the funds. And that's where it gets truly bizarre.
I think if you told him, if
100%,
I told him the devil
100%. Himself.
The devil himself said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
Huh?
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is
Was
somebody
the devil
knows
smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
None of these videos reveal a new Epstein. They reveal the same one, over and over again.
Said that 2-hour video, I haven't really went through it. I kind of clicked on it and I was like, oh my God. Because it's part of a 8-hour video. So there's like 2 videos that are 8 hours each that go over all the videos. And of course they're edited. Maybe that was one of the reasons why it took so long to get through the files. Because they had to go through and redact things like that. Plus names. Obviously they're redacting names. Important names. You know? Everybody in those emails. Why are their names not redacted? Wait, they are redacted. Never mind. Oh. Another one that said, when we get these names from the victims, I'm going to read them on the Senate floor. Well, you ain't do that, ma'am. You didn't do it. I don't know why I'm talking like this right now, but because I don't think she's from the South.
He's not the only one who looked at those files or has a list. Congresswoman Nancy Mace just spent the day going through the files and says she has her own list too. South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace.
Oh, you think she names names? She's got her own list. She's got her own list.
Is here with me now. Thank you very much for being here. So just based on what you saw this week, the Department of Justice opened up a number of files for review at DOJ. You weren't allowed to take in phones, take photos, but you could take notes. What did you see that the American people have not?
I took a lot of notes. I saw a lot of names. There was still a lot of information that is redacted. And the excuse I received today, because my primary focus was looking at co-conspirators. I wanted to look at the documents of the people who have not been arrested but were investigated. A lot of that information is still redacted. Or if there was a draft memo of the DOJ about the co-conspirators, you couldn't even pull that document up, even though it was revealed or appeared to be an attachment to one of the emails that were disclosed. I saw names of a lot of women, adult women that were recruiting young women and potentially underage individuals to be, to give to Jeffrey Epstein. Really disgusting behavior. And so, I'm going back tomorrow. And I'm going to give a list of names to the House Oversight Committee of people. I'm not saying that they've done anything criminal. These are people that I want to have brought in and testify and answer some very tough questions. Who was doing what and where? And also, why the cover-up? Why is this still...
All right, I'm back. Did she name any names? No? Of course she didn't.
being blocked from Congress and the American
Do you have any concerns that the rush to get this information out, which of course transparency people want, that names of people who were not criminals, who were not involved in any of these crimes, or that the names of victims are being put out there unredacted by mistake as a result of this kind of rush push, and they were. So do you have any worries about people who are saying, I'm an innocent person, and just because my name is listed in there or redacted doesn't mean I'm guilty of a crime, and my reputation should not be sullied as a result of being mentioned in an email?
I'm talking about people who were investigated, who probably, should see some jail time, and women that simply just want justice. And the attorneys for many of these victims gave the DOJ a list of names, and somehow those names still found their way that were not redacted. I am very concerned as a survivor about protecting the personal information, the names of underage children of some of these women. That was...
But wait, your colleagues want the files out completely unredacted. They want it completely unredacted. But you sound like you don't want that, which would make sense with the victims.
Put out in the public. And it's also, it's shaming. It's victim shaming. It's victim blaming when their names are out there. And I would never want to see that happen. Also, people have due process. They have the right to be innocent until proven guilty. But we're talking about one of the biggest scandals in American history, where basically nobody went to jail. And you can't tell me, as a mom, as a woman, as a survivor, that you had over 1,000 young women or underage girls trafficked and only one accomplice. People knew what was going on. They knew where it was happening. They knew who was doing it. This is a cover-up.
Yeah, I want to get to Virginia's law in a minute and about how that may work on Capitol Hill. But there was this was addressed at the White House today. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked about Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. He has come up in these documents, and he admitted under oath today in front of Congress that he had lunch with Jeffrey Epstein with his family on Epstein's island. The White House pushed back and said he didn't do anything wrong. Having lunch is not criminal.
On the island, it might be a little fishy.
Well, it is not criminal. I mean, that is the truth, and I'm glad that he told the truth under oath today. As a mom, I wouldn't sit and have lunch with a convicted pedophile. I don't think that's something that I would personally do, but that's my personal choice.
Do you think he should resign?
No, I wouldn't go that far. He hasn't, I've not seen any evidence that he did anything wrong. You shouldn't just be fired because of who you had lunch with. But I do question people who weren't straightforward, who weren't honest right away with the American public. And what are we hiding? I saw some names in there of people that I had no idea would be in the files, who were scheduling lunch or meetings with a convicted pedophile.
Like who?
Didn't do anything wrong, but certainly you question, wow, why are all these people, rich and powerful and famous, Hollywood, et cetera, doing this? But again, my focus is strictly on the victims, getting justice for them, people who broke the law and did crimes. That's not Howard Lutnick.
Yeah.
It's not Donald Trump either.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the files have shown that Donald Trump actually was
exonerated,
a whistleblower against Maxwell and
I've been saying that for
Epstein
a long time.
in the early 2000s, and in fact talked to the FBI about a number of their crimes.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app.
They're talking about, oh, we have these fucking sickos' names that, were unredacted, that we saw unredacted. But you know what? We don't want to name them. Not right now. Nah. Why not? Why not? Other names have been released, for public opinion. Interesting. Because nobody mentions Brooklyn Obama anymore. Nobody mentions, oh my God, Stacey Plaskett anymore, who we know still took money after he was convicted and was texting him during a Senate congressional hearing. But she's totally innocent, right? Has she been called to testify for anything? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so.
You know, nobody understands Eyes Wide Shut. Nobody. Every time it gets mentioned, people look at you like they're remembering the trauma of their one attempt to read Das Kapital. Because Eyes Wide Shut is one of those films that, despite or even because of being very obviously about something, has become a kind of cultural Rorschach test for people who don't want to see uncomfortable truths. So Eyes Wide Shut has generated a proliferation of bullshit interpretations. Ah, yes, Tom Cruise represents the Jungian animus confronting the shadow anima. Actually, Nicole Kidman is the feminine other confronting the social patriarchy, or whatever conspiracy theories Reddit users dream up from the comfort of their gamer chairs. And of course now,
was that product placement?
We have the Epstein theory.
The movie was recut and changed after his death.
Reignited recently by Roger Avery of Pulp Fiction fame, claiming he half remembers overhearing a conversation somewhere once about a rumor that the studio recut Eyes Wide Shut and killed Kubrick when he protested, which must be true if it's on Joe Rogan. The idea is that the reclusive Kubrick, who by the 1990s was hiding in an English mansion like a sort of anxious bearded tortoise, somehow knew who the feck Jeffrey Epstein was. Yes, old Stan was apparently spending his days inventing new camera lenses and his nights going, I must warn humanity about the finance bloke who sources blowjobs for Bill Clinton. But like every good conspiracy theory, this one is formed around a gritty bit of truth. Kubrick's movies are symbolic. They are coded. But they're also brutally direct statements that we refuse to acknowledge because they make us feel like the stupid complicit mammals we are. 2001? Oh, is the monolith aliens or God or the collective unconscious? Is it about a giant smartphone sucking us into the next dimension? No, although that is a fun theory. Kubrick's Space Odyssey is much more direct. You dumb apes and your stupid rockets aren't going anywhere until you evolve. Clockwork Orange. Is it the bleak, violent, dystopian future we're all heading towards? No, it's just Tuesday in Britain. And the uncomfortable truth that society breeds droogs like Alex because it needs violent, expendable young men. The Shining, the ultimate house on the hill and haunted hotel movie that author Stephen King has always hated because Kubrick didn't make a horror movie. He made a real movie that shouts its message in your face with a, "Here's Johnny!" The biggest threat to women and children isn't poltergeists, it's men. Full Metal Jacket, a haunting condemnation of war is a generally bad thing? No, it literally shows you America brainwashing its young men, then sending them to rape and kill ordinary people.
I don't know about the
America
raping
is
part, but-
evil, and the Vietnamese girl has every right to revenge. And we
from the
joke,
movie.
$5, me love you long time. Because Stanley Kubrick wants to shove the nasty truth right in our face until we can't ignore it. But somehow, we always can ignore it. Are you tired of grappling with the actual causes of life's problems? Exhausted by social and political realities that keep existing? Introducing Deny AI, the world's first AI-powered reality suppression engine. Absolutely free. And then we get to Eyes Wide Shut, and it's all there in the title. Eyes Wide Shut. The bourgeois liberal individual, yes, You, with your tote bag and your Guardian subscription, you can literally be marched into a mansion full of elites, wearing masks and chanting in Latin and doing unspeakable things to trafficked East European women. And you'll go, well, you know, maybe it's just a dream. Maybe
Hollywood.
It's symbolic. Maybe it's about marriage. No. Kubrick is telling you the ruling class could and do openly reveal themselves as sex cult Satanists, and you'll find a way to rationalize it because accepting it would break your IKEA-conditioned mind.
Hegel says this in a wonderful way. He writes, evil resides also in the gaze which sees evil everywhere around itself.
Now,
you think
listen
about
to
like the Assassin's Creed game, the main villains that you have to kill all wear masks, and it's throughout time. Could that be part of it too?
Boy Zizek. I know we've all tried and listened to hours of Zizek, and all we've learned is that he always sounds like he wants to sneeze. So let me translate one of Zizek's best theories, which I was reminded of by the superb Mikey and Nats on The Dangerous Maybe. Link in the description for the full deep dive. Every human order, every workplace, every sports team or nation state has rules. But you don't join the order by following the rules. You join the order by how you, in unison with other order members, break the rules. You become a worker by bitching about the customers with your fellow workers. You become a player by shouting at the ref with your fellow players. And you become truly part of the elites who rule our society by participating in acts of harm and abuse against the poor and vulnerable of that society. It's obscene. Behind the order of society we see is the obscene, the unseen order of society that forms its bonds of
dead horse. Kubrick he died. He died. I don't want to say it was suicide. I think that was somebody else. But it appears that I have lost interest. Lost interest. Not me, but you know. I'm not telling you how to think because, well, fuck it, no one's here. I'm just telling you to think.